if I'm thinking about it both from a provider of privacy solutions to my customers, but also as one of the key team members that's responsible for the income statement, right? Revenue and cost and risk here at TrustArc. Let me share with you how kind of privacy plays into that. So let's start kind of at the top with revenue. So when I think about privacy and revenue, to some extent, it depends on what business you're in. But what I've seen is in our own customer base is how data and the use of data in day-to-day business has expanded so dramatically in the last decade or so. I mean, TrustArc's customer base started off principally in the technology space. These were companies that were using data like from the get-go, but our customer base has expanded dramatically in kind of run-of-the-mill industries, manufacturing, finance, healthcare. Like it's kind of across the board now in terms of industry distribution. What that tells me is that the data is becoming more ubiquitous, used, across the board. And I think AI only like amplifies that to a massive extent, just because of the data intensity of using AI effectively. So to me, that plays directly into revenue, whether you're a tech company, doing cloud software or some other technology-enabled service that's data dependent, that's driving your business, that's driving revenue, or you're using AI in your business to enhance revenue through go-to-market activities, through enhanced B2B relationships where demonstrating good privacy practice can be an accelerator to revenue, to securing a role as a vendor to a new customer. So that in my mind, puts privacy right in the wheelhouse of revenue upside, right? And CFOs and boards love revenue upside. Now, there's also revenue downside associated with not getting privacy right? It's using all that data that I just talked about, but not using it, properly or, with the right safeguards in place. That can result in revenue downside. And that's where, CFOs are particularly sensitive. So what can happen there? I think where you have problems would be in the regulatory realm, right? The Cambridge Analytica is like it's a regulatory / brand damage that results in either public backlash, which can impact revenue, or we've seen a few cases where regulators will actually step in and say, you need to throw out that data. It was improperly collected, it was improperly used, like erase it. Like that is a major, major, major problem if it happens to you. So that I would put in the revenue downside category. So moving on down the profit loss statement into more the cost side, right? So we've talked about revenue. So where can privacy impact cost? Again, the regulatory or the litigation side of things is a cost item. Like if something like this happens to you, whether a regulator comes knocking or suits are filed, we all know that the expense that comes along with that is massive. You see fines every day and everybody thinks, well, it's like Google got fined or Facebook got fined. That activity is spreading. It's reaching down into what I'd call the middle market with a lot more frequency. And those fines are only the tip of the iceberg in terms of the real cost associated with one of these actions, right? It's the time that all the team members need to put into responding to discovery requests, regulatory requests. It's the outside legal expense incurred when one of these events happens. And I think that when you total all that up, whatever fine is generated, the cost associated with that action is many times the fine. And so again, from a CFO perspective, that is a really, really unhappy situation because in large part, it's out of your control. You're responding to a third party and having to spend considerable funds that were unanticipated to defend yourself.